going to be a state of affairs that's held by any object?
Non-existence is not a state of affairs. It's just
Okay, so then there's no way to go from non-existence to existence as a state of affairs, because non-existence isn't going to be a state of affairs. So do you want to give an actual definition, or do you want to keep waffling?
An actual definition of non-existence?
No, an actual definition of begins to exist.
Yeah, begins to exist means coming into existence.
Is coming going to be synonymous with begin?
Yes, it's going to be synonymous.
Okay, so then you just gave me a word using a synonymous replacement word, which doesn't tell me anything informative.
It is telling you something informative.
Saying begins to exist is not informative.
It means that something was not always in existence, and at a certain point in time, it comes to exist.
Okay, so yeah, you've just filleted. Yo, hold on. Let me clarify something. Yo, Betsworth, are you recording? All right, sounds good. Yeah, so you're on recording saying this, but you already filleted yourself, right? So when you say that the universe began to exist, and your semantic analysis of begun entails time, right? You just said by begin you mean it at one point in time didn't exist, followed by a point in time in which it did exist. Now, if we're taking the universe to be all-encompassing space-time, then it's just going to be the case that there was never a point in time in which space-time did not exist, because that would be ridiculous. So you're going to have to give a better semantic account. If you would have read William Lane Craig, if you would have watched his YouTube videos, in which case he goes into premise 1, you would understand that such an account would be laughed at by him himself.
Yo, real quick. Can he debate on the stage? It'll be much easier. I mean, better.
Yeah, debate on stage.
I don't really care. This guy just cooked himself. He's gonna have to either concede his definition is garbage or.
Okay. Just go to stage. Go to stage.
Go to stage. Strongest debate. You're gonna get touched. You're weak.
Go there.
I know, this activity fiend is crazy, bro. The server hasn't had this much activity in ages.
Go stage. You're gonna get touched. All right, go stage. Hurry up. Strongest debate. You're gonna get touched.
Yo, by the way, I don't know how I have the Issa guy muted, but I had him muted and I never raised his volume.
You got folded,
Let
me bring all of you guys here. All right. Raise your hands. The debaters, raise your hands.
YOLO.
Okay, yo.
I asked you for a semantic account of what begun means, what it means for something to begin to exist, and your account entailed time. And the universe has a time in which there was no.
To encompass space-time.
Are you saying that time existed prior to the universe?
Of course, time exists prior to the universe.
Okay, what are you taking time to be?
Time is just something which is like a time is like a concept.
Notion of quote unquote when things happen. Yeah, so there's a few things that you could be saying there. You could be saying that time is a relation, right? Something like William Craig espouses himself, that it's a relational concept, being the relationship between events or causes or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you could say.
Yeah, so let's just give an account here. Prior to God creating, what was the time going on? Like what exactly was happening?
God was not creating. That's what.
No, was there time prior to creation?
Was there time prior to creation? Of course.
Of course. Okay, so time is eternal.
Of course.
You mean?
That at started to exist. The universe came into existence.
So I take the universe to be all of space-time and its contents, and I take time to just be a property of the universe. So what's your definition of universe such that it excludes time?
Distances that are like within it.
Okay, so the universe.
All existences that are
If I don't take that account, at which in the causal chain, because time is eternal, there's no first element, in which case that is said to be the start of time.
Yeah. So what? Time is
Meaning,
eternal.
according to
How does that
you,
lead to an infinite regress?
there's an infinite regress.
Yeah, but no. How does that lead to an infinite regress?
Yeah, because there's no first member of the element. I mean, the set. There's no first element in the set.
In the set of time?
No, instead of all things.
What do you mean there's no first member in the set of all things?
Yeah, you just stated that when you said time is eternal.
Yeah. What do you mean there's no there's no first set in the set of all things?
Yeah, so do you know what a set is?
Yes, I know what a set is.
Yeah, so we take this and we say that there's a set of all things. First member that is stated to be when time started. So time is eternal.
I don't know why, but the stage setting is
Yeah.
making that.
So if I take
cut
the
out.
universe to just be all of space-time,
Space-time, because
no,
for
I'm telling you
anything to
how
happen-
that's usually understood. If the universe is all of space-time, then according to you, only some part of the universe began to exist, which
What?
most people would agree with.
What do you mean only some parts? No, I just told you that the time was before the universe, because time
Yeah.
is just conceptual. You need time in order for an event to take place. So if you're
Yeah, I'm
gonna,
telling you what I mean by the universe is just all of space-time, right?
yeah, I
This is
understand
commonly
that.
how
But
it's understood.
I'm saying that for any act to happen, it has
According to you, the universe didn't begin to exist.
How does that mean, according to me, that the universe didn't be time?
Yeah, you're taking the universe to just be a set of all contingent members. And I'm telling you what I'm taking the universe to mean, which is in standard account with modern day physics.
Yeah, okay, but that doesn't like.
Okay, so according to you, by the light of modern physics, what they take the universe to be, the universe didn't begin to exist.
No, that
It doesn't matter what modern physics says.
no, that's not what I said. I said, why does it matter what they're saying in this instance? If all you're gonna do is just be like, oh, I'm taking the universe to be space-time. Okay, well, like, why are you taking it
Yeah,
to be
so according
space-time?
to
Because
you,
for
the
me,
universe didn't begin to
anything,
exist under my account.
I know for me, if an action happens, an action has to happen temporally. Because if it doesn't happen temporally, then it's either going to be like some eternal act, which is just like inconceivable, or it's gonna be like some like that's it. That's the only option, or it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, you
It
can
can't
believe in
happen.
atemporal causation, meaning that you can believe in causal acts that aren't temporally related. So listen, right? I mean, like I stated, usually people are going to want to say that God is timeless,
A
right?
causal
But
act that isn't temporally
according to you,
related.
God is in time, right?
Wait,
So
what causal act is not temporally related?
yeah, like I just told you. I mean, I'm not too sure of how it works. I've read some literature on it, atemporal causation. I'm not sure if it's like
So why would
really
you bring it
intelligent,
up if you don't know how things can be
because
created
I'm
outside
explaining
time?
to you how your position is usually argued, because now you're saying God is in time according to you.
How did I say God is in time?
Time is eternal according to you.
Yeah, but time is just something conceptual. Obviously, when God acts, it has to happen within time.
Yeah, so God is in time.
Yeah, sure. If you want to say it like that, you can say God.
Okay, so God is not a timeless entity according to you.
No, that's not. When I'm saying, if you're saying by God is in time, you just mean that when He acts, it has to be in time. Sure. If you're saying that God is some like bound temporally, I don't even know what what I
Well,
even
I'm saying to you that you say, okay, so you say that time is eternal, yes?
Yes.
Meaning that God exists within time.
Sure. Yeah, God exists within time.
Okay, so if I just take the universe to just be space-time and all its encompassing members, then the universe didn't begin to exist, because at no point in time was there no time according to you, which is
No,
just sort
but
of trivially true.
wait. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so I take the universe to just be all of space-time and its encompassing members. And
Yeah,
according
okay.
to you, time didn't begin to exist.
Yeah, but that's just
I
already
commend
now,
you. I
now you're
commend
just
you for
switching the
this. I mean,
paradigm
yeah, that's
because
sort of intuitive to
you're
me
going
too.
from your view to my view. You're just saying, okay, I say it doesn't. I say that time is eternal, and you say that time is like the universe is space and time, so therefore, like the universe would be eternal. No, like we're conflicting because I don't say that the time started with the universe. You're the one that says time started with the
No,
universe.
I'm not
So
saying
you're the
time
one
started with
saying
the universe. That's not what I'm
you
stating. I'm
said that the
stating
universe is space time.
no. I'm stating according to your analysis of time, the universe has always existed.
No, what?
You just said
How?
time is eternal.
Yes, but I'm not taking the universe to be space time. You're the one taking the universe to be space
Yeah, I'm
time.
telling you how modern day physics is going to say what the universe is.
Okay, well, I'm asking for your account.
Yeah,
What
my
is the
account,
universe?
like I've said 4 or 5 times, the universe is all of space and
Yeah,
time
okay,
and its
it's all the
content.
space time, and I'm saying it's not. So are we gonna get anywhere?
Okay, so what is the
Because
universe again?
okay,
Is the
because
universe
if the
just a set of
universe,
all
hold on,
contingent members?
hold on. Do you hold to like some like causal event like the Big Bang?
Sure.
Okay, would this happen in time or outside of time?
Not sure.
What do you mean not sure? So is it eternal or did it happen at a point in time?
Yeah, so there's going to be several cosmological
Oh, is
models.
that not a true dichotomy?
No, I'm explaining to you exactly how this
Wait,
works, right?
no. Before you explain to me, is that a true dichotomy? Either it's eternal or in time, or non-existence. You can have one of those.
Either it's going to be eternal. Well, first of all, you just said it's a true dichotomy and then gave a third option. So this
Yeah,
isn't making any sense, right?
because the only
So you're
thing that
going to
I'm
have to
supposing
concede. So
no
you're going to have to concede
because the
according to
only thing
you,
that
it's
I'm
not a true
supposing
dichotomy.
the only thing that I'm supposing
So
is that
according
it
to you, it's
exists.
not even a true dichotomy.
The
Okay.
only thing that I'm supposing is that it exists. Okay, if you want to say it's not a true dichotomy and the universe doesn't exist, go ahead.
No, that's not what was stated. What was stated
Okay,
was
so then it's a true dichotomy. So then it's
you
a true
asked me, yo,
dichotomy.
stop trying to put
Wait,
on the
listen.
theatrics because you're
Then it's
getting
a true
cooked. Stop with
dichotomy
the
that if
theatrics.
the
So
universe
listen.
exists,
Yo,
then
stop with the
this
theatrics because you're getting cooked. It doesn't look good. But
what?
anyway, like I said previously, right? There's going to be several cosmological accounts as to what exactly goes on. Now, you could
Okay,
take
what
it to
goes
be
on?
some type of amorphic time prior to the Big Bang. Exactly how that works, I'm not too sure, right? But I'm just going based upon your account, in which case time is eternal. And as you
Okay,
said earlier, God exists in time.
okay. And now what?
Yeah, so I'm just saying under a standard account of what the universe is, according to you, the universe is eternal in some sense.
No, that's not according to me at all because you're the one saying that the universe is space-time. How would the universe be eternal in any sense under my paradigm?
Because time is eternal.
So what?
So a
Okay,
component of the
time is eternal
universe
and
is
I exist in time. Now
eternal.
I'm eternal? Like
No,
what are you trying to
time,
say? How
you
would the universe
exist. Do you not understand the distinction between existing at a point in time and time itself? Do you not know the difference?
Yeah, and I'm saying that the universe isn't time itself. You're the one saying time the
No,
universe
I'm
is time.
saying that the universe
I
is
thought that was
space
the
and
universe.
time and its contents.
Yeah, okay, so how does my view that time is eternal entail the universe being eternal?
That there's going to be this thing that is time, that is eternal, and under a standard
Okay.
account, the universe is space and time and its
Okay, and
contents.
now do you see how you just keep shifting the paradigm? You're going from my view that time is eternal, and then you're supposing your view that the universe is some
Well,
constituent
I'm
of
just giving you a
space-time.
standard account. This is the standard account. Yeah, what happens
Yeah,
is.
okay, but your standard account is meaningless to me because
All
you're
right,
the
so
one.
let's just
You're
try to do
going
an
by my
internal.
view.
Let's just do an
Wait.
internal paradigm check
You're
here.
going by my view that time is eternal, and then you say, "Oh, the universe is a constituent of space-time, so now the universe is going to be eternal." No, that doesn't follow because one is my view, one is your view, and you haven't
All right, so let's
substantiated
focus on
anything
your
for your
view.
view.
What
No,
is the
let's focus
universe
on your
again?
view. Hold on, because you never finished. When I asked you, do you hold to some like causal event like the Big Bang, and you said yes, I said, did this happen in time or outside of time?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure? So you're talking about time and you don't even know if the Big Bang happened. Okay, let's look at both cases. Either it happened in time, in which case there was a time prior to it when it wasn't happening, or it happens eternally, in which case the Big Bang is always happening. And right now is the Big Bang. Is right now the Big Bang?
Yeah, so that line of logic doesn't actually follow. And
Okay, so go ahead.
since you're using the Kalam, I'll just educate you on what William Lane Craig states, right? So William Lane Craig states that God was in a timeless state prior to creation, right? That's usually the account that wants to be given because when you say the universe, you usually want to say all of space-time began at that point, and exactly how that works, you're going to want to have an account of atemporal causation. Right, so you're
Okay,
going to
so
say that God
let's take
entered
the
time
causation, please.
instead of time has always existed. Because once you start saying that time has always existed, you're going to run into the fall where the universe is just going to be able to be said to be eternal. Now,
No,
like I said earlier, your
wait,
account
wait,
of
wait.
your account of what the universe is was just the set of all contingent members, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, account of what modality are we using here to discern what is contingent and what's not contingent?
What is contingent and what's not contingent?
Yeah, how do we determine that?
Something is contingent if there is a possible world where it doesn't exist. Which
What kind of
means,
possible worlds are we using?
what do you mean what kind of possible worlds? If there is no issue
I'm asking you
in
the
this
account of
thing not
possible worlds. Do you
existing,
not know what that means?
the account of possible worlds? No, I don't know what account of possible worlds.
Okay, so I'll educate you real quick. I'll send a link in the side chat
I'm
if I
not
can send
clicking
links.
your
So
link
if you
in
go
the
to the
side.
Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, the entry on possible worlds, first published Friday, October 18th, 2013, a substantive revision on Monday, February 8th, 2016.
Okay,
You'll be
can
able
you
to
get
scroll
to the point?
down really quickly. I'm not finished, and you will be able to see 3 philosophical conceptions of possible worlds, and you're going to be able to go through that on your own accord. If you want to like stop the debate and go educate yourself,
No,
you can do that.
why would I stop it? Why would I stop it? We're both here.
Yeah, I'm saying that you're clearly uneducated. I asked you for your account of possible
How
worlds,
am
and
I,
you were clueless.
just because I don't know the like specific term of my account of possible worlds doesn't mean I can explain to you the possible
Well, you're
world.
invoking possible worlds, and you don't even know what account you're using.
Yeah, I mean, a possible world is a world in which something could not, like something which exists, it's possible for this thing not to exist. It's a possible existence. So there's no
Yeah,
contradiction.
every single
Wait.
account of possible world is going to account for possible world. Wait,
Okay,
the question
and that's
is
fine. That's what I'm saying.
the question is let me explain the question, all right?
And that's fine. See, why'd this guy drop?
Bro, where'd he go?
This guy wants to get like so tedious, talk about like
Wait,
what
what?
specific type of possible world. I
Yeah.
don't care. I'm talking about possible
Yeah,
worlds.
strongest
in general.
debater. What's good? Hello. Ping me. Bring me back
Bro,
up.
not
Alex.
gonna lie, you
No, bring him
clutched
back
with
up.
that.
Bring him back up.
He clutched,
back
bro.
up.
He pressed him really well.
No, because I was
Where
having
is
fun
he?
at the start, but then he was getting disrespectful.
Bring him back up, guys.
All right, yeah, I'm back.
So what is
The deep state
my
is trying to
account?
take over and stop me from clobbering. But listen,
No
all right,
one's trying to stop
like
you
I
from
stated
doing anything.
previously, like I stated previously, when you invoke possible worlds, I mean, this may work on lower tier debaters, but I mean, I've read the literature,
You
right? So when
are
you
a
invoke
low
possible
tier
worlds,
debater.
I'm asking you for the account of possible world that you're using, and you don't know, right? So that's a problem.
Okay, so my account of a possible existence, which is a possible world, is something where something can exist, like a world that encompasses certain existences. Now, a possible existence is if there,
Yeah, how do we determine that?
if something is a possible existence.
Now, how do we
Okay.
determine? Yeah,
If
how do we
there's
determine
no
what's possible
contradiction,
versus impossible?
If there's no contradiction, what? Possible versus impossible? Are you slow? It's possible versus necessary. Impossible would just be like something like a contradiction, an impossible existence.
Okay,
But I'm
so
talking about
anything is
a
possible as long as it's not contradictory.
anything is possible if there is no contradiction in negating it.
Okay, so I will educate you on this.
So
I'm going to
something
explain
that
why this is a.
exists.
I'm going to. Yeah. I sent another link in the side chat from Stanford
I don't
Encyclopedia of
need your
Philosophy
links in the side
titled.
chat.
Yeah. I'm educating you in the room. Titled "Impossible Worlds." This is an entry first published Thursday, September 7th, 2009. Substantive revision Thursday, April 27, 2023. Right. So the account of possible world you just gave. An impossible world is actually
I
here. Right.
didn't
It's going
say
to be a.
anything
I'm
about
not finished.
impossible
I'm not
world.
finished. I'm
No,
not
but
finished.
what are you
Right.
talking about impossible world?
Yeah, because you're the one who said something is going to be impossible if it is the case that it is a contradiction.
Oh yeah, sure. Something is impossible if it's a contradiction.
Yeah, so I'm going to
Okay,
explain
go
why
ahead.
this account is going to falter. I mean, if you want to keep this account, you can. So are you aware of what intuitionistic logics are?
Intuitionistic logic? Nope.
Yep.
So go ahead.
No, I'm asking you if you know what it is. It's a yes or no.
I just told you nope. So go ahead.
Okay, so intuitionistic logics are going to be logics that are going to be restricting or negating the law of excluded middle, but they're still going to affirm the law of non-contradiction. Meaning, according to you, the account of possible world you just gave, there is a possible world where the intuitionistic logic holds. Meaning, there's a possible world where there is no law of excluded middle, because the law of non-contradiction would hold in such a world.
Why would I ever hold to that?
The account of impossible world you just gave is a world in which there's a
Okay,
contradiction entailed.
and how is there no contradiction entailed in denying the law of excluded middle?
Because they still affirm the law of non-contradiction.
So because somebody affirms the law of non-contradiction and doesn't affirm the law of excluded middle, it means that the law of excluded middle doesn't have to exist.
According to the account you just gave, yeah.
What? No, that's not my account of a contradiction isn't someone saying, "Oh, this doesn't have to exist." Oh, I don't
No,
need the
the
law
account
of
of contradiction is P and its
No.
negation. I'm aware of what a contradiction is.
Okay, so the law of excluded middle is something logically necessary because if you have
Wait,
a
you
true
think
proposition,
there's a contradiction involved if you deny the law of excluded middle?
of course you can. Of course you can
Okay,
deny
so I'm
the law
gonna
of
educate
excluded
you
middle.
real quick here.
Of course you can deny the law of excluded middle. Okay,
So
how
I
about
sent
this?
something in the side chat.
Wait,
I sent something in the side chat.
Yeah, stop
Wait, hold on.
sending stuff in the
I'm
side
gonna
chat.
educate you on this
Look,
real quick.
I'm gonna give you a proposition, and you tell me what the third option is. Okay? Strongest debater exists, or strongest debater doesn't exist.
Yeah, denying the law of excluded middle does not result in like explosion or anything.
Okay,
So listen,
okay, deny the
I'll
law of
explain it to
excluded
you.
middle
I'll
and give
explain
me
it
a
to you in the
third
side
option.
chat. Hold on. I'll
What's the
explain it to you in
middle
the side
ground
chat.
between existence and non-existence?
Yeah, like I said, you could just deny double negation as the intuitionistic logics will normally do. But anyway, I sent something in the side chat, and I'll read it out
I
loud,
don't
right?
need your thing in
So
the
the
side
account of
chat.
possible world,
If
you gotta stop
can't,
interrupting, bro. You gotta stop interrupting. So listen,
no,
right?
but you just keep sending
Contradiction
stuff in the chat.
realizers, you gotta stop interrupting. But listen, right? Contradiction realizers. This is the account of impossible world you gave. So a still more specific definition has it that an impossible world is a world where sentences of the form A and not A hold against the law of non-contradiction. Impossible worlds of the fourth kind, this kind, will be impossible in the third sense, but not vice versa. Our intuitionistic world above will have the law of non-contradiction hold unrestrictedly. It will not be impossible in the third. It will be impossible in the third, but not the fourth sense, right? So if you read the impossible worlds entry on Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, the account you just gave would make it so that the law of intuitionistic logics would be able to be possible worlds, as I've just read.
How would it make it able for the intuitionistic logic to be possible?
Because
If because if you're saying intuitionistic logic entails that the law of excluded middle could possibly not exist, and I'm telling you, it's not possible for this law not
okay,
to
what's the
exist.
contradiction?
What's the contradiction? Because the law of excluded middle is like two sides of the same coin with the law of non-contradiction. Because what does the law of non-contradiction state? You cannot have a P and the negation of the same proposition P. So I can't say I both exist and not exist. The law of excluded middle says that either you exist or you exist and there's no middle ground. So if I give the proposition I exist, it's either going to be a yes or a no. If it's a true dichotomy, so it's either going to be a yes or a no. Okay.
So as
it's
I
two
stated
sides of the same
previously, right?
coin.
As I
So
stated previously.
wait. If you think the law of excluded middle, hold on.
All right, yeah. So I'll just explain to the room real
No,
quick what's happening.
not as you were explaining. Not as you were explaining. If you think that the law of excluded middle could possibly not exist, go ahead and give me an account of a true dichotomy where there's a third option between yes and no. Go ahead. You're
So
the
like
one
I stated
proposing.
previously, right?
No.
Yo,
Don't go
you
back
asked a
to my
question, no?
articles. Okay, so I want you, if I say the proposition, the strongest debater exists, or the strongest debater doesn't exist, what's the middle ground? Reconcile it for me. How can the law of excluded middle possibly not exist? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to explain something to you, right?
No, I don't want you
Now,
to explain
remember,
Answer the question.
I'm answering the question.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
under
Explain to me
intuitionistic
what the middle
logics,
ground is.
Yo,
Explain to me
you're
what the
gonna
middle
have to stop
ground is.
speaking. You're gonna have to stop speaking, right?
Then explain it.
The theatrics are not working for you here. But listen,
Then
right?
answer the question.
As you stated, right, you didn't know what intuitionistic logics are, so you have no idea what's going on here. But basically, the intuitionistic logics are not saying that there is a third option. They're just denying double negation here. But anyway, as I was stating previously, according to your account of possible world and impossible world, an impossible world is just where there is a contradiction realized, right? Now, again, you don't understand what intuitionistic logics are because you think denying the LEM results in contradiction. No, that's not what's going on,
yes,
right?
and I've said that.
And
Wait,
as I stated earlier, I asked you to give me.
because
Yo,
you just
I'm not
challenged
finished.
me.
So anyway,
Wait, no.
as I asked earlier,
I asked the
yo,
question
listen,
and you
you're gonna
didn't
have
answer.
to stop with the theatrics.
No.
You're gonna have to stop with the theatrics.
You're gonna have to stop running from my questions. I asked you, is there a possible world where the law of excluded middle doesn't exist? And you've been saying yes. The law of excluded middle does not have to. Okay, so explain to me. It's not according to me. I've been saying the whole time that the law of excluded middle is a logical necessity. You're the one saying under my paradigm, the law of excluded middle doesn't have to exist. So how can the law of excluded middle not how is it possible for it not to exist? Because I've given you.
I'm gonna send something in the side chat because it seems like this education will require a full-on
session.
session.
You multiple accounts on why the law of excluded middle is a logical necessity. And you've been saying, no, it could fail to exist. Okay, so show me how it could fail to exist. If I have the proposition,
Yo,
exist,
I'll just
and
give
don't
you a
exist.
lesson here. I'll give you a lesson.
No,
So
show
listen,
me.
if you look at
I've
the side
asked you like
chat, if you
3
look at the
times.
side chat,
I've
yo,
asked you
just
like
stop
3
speaking.
times. Show me
Yo,
an
just
example.
stop speaking. So anyway, as I stated
Show
previously,
me where the
as
law
we
of excluded
see,
middle does not have to exist.
listen, right? You're gonna have to
So answer the
stop
question. There's
interrupting,
no.
son.
This is not some lecture.
Yeah, this is a lecture because you're clueless. But
This
as I
is
was
not a
stating
lecture.
previously, right?
Are you gonna answer the
If we
question or not?
read what I've just sent in the
Are you
side
gonna
chat,
answer the
right?
question or not?
Yeah, I'm going to educate you and then I'll
Okay,
answer your
so
question.
answer the question.
Yeah. Let me lecture you because you're
No.
clueless on
When
this
I
part.
gave you the time to answer, when I gave you the time to answer last
Yeah,
time,
Isan, you're gonna have to moderate this guy. It's
what did you
getting
do
ridiculous.
when I gave you the time to answer last time? You just went right back in a circle. You're just like,
Yo,
oh,
both-
and according to your view, it's a possible existence. It's not a
Okay,
possible.
according to your view, yeah.
I'm negating
guys,
that.
guys,
it's a
guys,
possible
guys,
existence. How is
guys,
it my view if I'm telling you it's not?
Yeah, just stop with the theatrics. So anyway,
How
as I
is
was
it
stating
my view?
previously,
I'm
we can
telling
look
you
at
it's not my
I'll
view.
explain to you, right? So if we look at the side chat, we'll see 2 accounts of impossible worlds, right? And this is on Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, the link I sent earlier. This is usually taken to be some type of authority in these type of communities. So anyway, there's classical logic violators,
some
right?
type of
Another
authority. Oh, cool.
definition has it. Yeah, so anyway, another definition has it that impossible worlds are worlds where the laws of classical logic fail. Yeah, Graham Priest in 1997 expands upon this. A world complying with intuitionistic logic and where instances of the law of excluded middle fail will be impossible in the third sense, in the sense of
Yeah, I
classical
agree
logic
that it's
violated.
impossible.
Now, I'm not finished.
What's
I'm
the
not
point of
finished. So
but
anyway,
what's the point of you
I'm
repeating
not
this?
finished.
I agree that it's impossible for it not to
Yeah,
exist.
I'm not
What's the point of
finished.
you
I'm explaining
Okay, go
why
ahead.
under the account you gave earlier, it's not going to be. Now, if we look at the
Okay,
side
go
chat, I'll
ahead.
send it again
Explain the
because the side
contradiction.
chat is getting flooded, right?
No, explain
But
the
anyway, as we
contradiction. Go ahead.
moderation, you're gonna have to do your job.
So
But anyway, as I was stating
Explain
here,
the contradiction.
you guys want to do timed or like?
No.
I mean, this
We
guy
can
just
do
can't
time.
stop interrupting. I mean,
It's getting
this is
out of
ridiculous.
hand, guys.
Okay,
on both.
well, he has like make sure he answers the question. He's saying that. So I said it's impossible for the law of excluded middle not to exist, and he's telling me an impossible world is where one of the classical laws of logic doesn't exist. So I agree, it's impossible for this world to occur.
Yeah, I'm saying under
He's
the earlier
saying
account you gave.
okay, and then he's saying under my paradigm, everything I've said, I made it possible for this world to exist. So go ahead and show me how I've made it possible.
Yeah,
Show
no
me where
problem.
I've contradicted myself.
Yeah, you haven't. Well, you have contradicted yourself in the sense of like
You're
You're just
what were you saying?
waffling. You're like, can you show me?
Yeah, I'm explaining. But Isan,
Okay,
you were about to say
explain.
something.
I was just gonna say let's.
No, Hassan, leave him. Let him answer the question.
I'm just saying let the strongest debater answer it.
And make sure he answers.
Yeah. So anyway,
I can't do anything.
I'll explain why, right? And the recording will show this, right? Your account of possible world earlier and impossible world was that a possible world is just where there is no contradiction, and impossible world is where there is a contradiction. Now, if you read the side chat, I'll post the screenshot again because this is so crucial. Moderation, you're gonna have to step in. This guy asked a question.
This
guy asked a question.
Wait, he's messing up my definition.
This is getting ridiculous.
I said a possible world.
We might have to get this layman off the stage.
A particular doesn't exist.
Okay? Yo, I think we're forced to do time.
In denying a particular existence. Okay.
This is just ridiculous.
A possible world where you don't exist.
Guys, this is going nowhere. Should we do time?
No.
Yeah, we might have to do time if this guy can't stop interrupting.
Because you're getting my definitions wrong.
I'm not getting your definition. Wait, I'll just clarify this, and then we can do time, or you can just let the opponent that you're debating speak. Is it the case that you said earlier that an impossible world is a world in which there's a contradiction realized?
Yes, an impossible world is where there's an actualized contradiction.
Okay, so from there, I'll explain exactly why and where the problem comes in, right? So the problem comes in because of the fact that if you just look at what I sent in the side chat, the account that you just gave and agreed to currently is a contradiction realizer. It means that this is a more specific definition of possible world and impossible world, in which case an impossible world is a world where sentences of the form A and its negation hold, meaning actualize in this sense, against the law of non-contradiction. Impossible worlds of this kind will be impossible in the third sense, meaning that like where an intuitionistic logic might hold in the sense that you just gave, it's not going to hold in the sense of a classical logic violator, meaning that a impossible world is just a world where the classical laws fail, right? So in the sense that you just gave, right, a contradiction realizer, there's no contradiction entailed by denying the law of excluded middle, hence why intuitionistic logics can do it and hold the law of non-contradiction strictly.
And now you're just going in circles because you said
because you haven't responded to anything I've stated.
You said there's no contradiction realized in negating the law of excluded middle, and I've asked you 100 times. I've shown you how there is a contradiction, and you.
Wait, what's the P? Wait. I want to make it very clear.
What's
I'm
the P
going
and
to
not P?
type this.
I
I'm
will
going to
show
type
you
in the
right now.
side
You want to
chat.
know the
What
P
is
and
the
not P?
P and not P?
And if I give you the P and not P, will you address it this time?
Yeah,
Will you
give the
answer
P
this
and
time?
not P.
Okay.
Don't give like some thought
Okay.
experiment. Give the
The
P and
law
not
of
P.
excluded middle states that with any true dichotomy, either the proposition is going to be true or its inverse is going to be true. Okay. So if I say that I exist, this proposition is either true or it's not true, and I don't exist, right? It's two sides of the same coin with the law of non-contradiction. So go ahead, show me a third option. If you negate the proposition that I exist and you negate the proposition that I don't exist, give me a third option. What's the middle ground?
Yeah, so as everyone can see, I asked you for the P and not P, and I had the form ready to fill out.
And I just
And
gave you the
instead, you asked a
P and not
question.
P. I
You
just
didn't
gave
give
you
the P and not
P.
P. Okay,
The P and not P.
Wait, just type it in the side chat because clearly we're not going to get anywhere with you just rambling. Fill out this form in the side chat.
Okay, fine. P is going to be, it is true that I exist. That's going to be the first proposition. And then the negation is going to be, it is true that I don't exist. So, according to the law of non-contradiction, either something exists or something doesn't exist. Now, according to the law of excluded middle, if something exists, it doesn't not exist. And if something
Okay,
doesn't
so
exist, it doesn't
yes,
exist.
Saint, that's not what the law of excluded
It's
middle is
impossible.
entailing. But anyway, I'll
So
ask
what
you
is the
this,
law of
Saint,
excluded middle?
just to
What is the law
clarify,
of excluded middle?
just to clarify something real quick. I want to clarify something very
I'm appealing to
precisely.
the thing in question.
Do you know? Wait, hold
look at this
on.
monkey.
Yo, we just let you speak.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just going to ask you this one simple question. Do you know what double negation is?
Double negation? Yeah, it's going to be like it's going to be like not.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be not P in this instance, right?
Yeah, which is
So
going to be
what
P.
the law of excluded middle is stating is double negation, correct? It entails double negation.
What the law of excluded middle is stating is that either a proposition is true or its inverse is true.
Yeah, does the double wait? That's okay. So can you formalize the law of excluded middle? Do you know how to do that?
I why do you keep trying to go on these little tangents instead of just
Because it's
addressing
trying
the
to get
question?
clear on exactly what you even think the law of excluded middle is.
I've told you 1,000 times. Anyone here can attest. I've told you 1,000 times. All I've asked you from the beginning, this whole time, was give me one example of a proposition like I exist and I don't exist where there's a middle ground. I halfway exist and I halfway don't exist.
Wait, so
Please.
that's not, you don't understand what intuitionistic logic is doing. Intuitionistic logic is not saying that there's a third option, right? What intuitionistic logic is denying is something like double negation, right? Because they take that to be unintuitive. Now, it's not a contradiction in denying the law of excluded middle due to the fact that once I send you this in the side chat, if you want to do your own research on
How
this,
many
you
articles
can
have you
read through
sent in
this.
the
Yeah,
side chat?
I'm not finished. I'm not
Answer the
finished.
question.
I'm not finished. Right. Anyway, as I was stating previously, intuitionistic logic can be succinctly described as classical logic without the Aristotelian law of excluded middle or the classical law of double negation elimination, but with the law of contradiction, right? So as I'll send a screenshot of this, right? So intuitionistic logics have the law of non-contradiction, right? That's what they have.
Okay.
So just saying that intuitionistic logics are quote unquote contradictory makes no sense given everything that you can
I
read
never
here.
even mentioned intuitionistic logic being contradictory or not contradictory.
Okay, if intuitionistic logic isn't a contradiction, then that means that there's a possible world where the law of excluded middle holds.
Does intuitionistic logic mean that the law of excluded middle is merely a possible existence?
As I just stated,
Yeah,
intuitionistic logics can be succinctly described as classical logic without the Aristotelian law of excluded middle or the classical law of double negation elimination.
Then now we're just going in circles because I'm going to say no, it's not possible, and I'll explain
give the
to you
contradiction.
why. And I'll explain to you why. And I've explained to you why 1,000 times. And then
No, you haven't. You just asked what the third option is, but that's not what's being stated.
That's what the law of excluded middle is. That there's no third. It's an excluded middle. There's no middle. Either it's true or its inverse is true. And I've gave you 1,000 times an example of this. And
yes,
you
I think we can.
According to you, there's gonna be a possible world where it doesn't exist. And I've shown you, no, there's no possible world where it doesn't exist. And then
so as I just sent in the side chat, so
I've shown you, no, there is no possible world
haven't,
where it doesn't exist. And then you go again, according to
sadly
you, there's a possible world where it doesn't exist. And I'm telling you, there's no possible world where it doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's no contradiction.
Can you show me how it's possible for it not to exist? Please.
Yeah, so I'll just send it. Yo, you're spazzing out. You're spazzing out. You're tweaking. But anyway,
answer.
Yo, don't crash out over this debate, bro. It's not that serious.
Tell
but anyway, as I was
me
stating previously,
how there can be a middle ground.
Yo, don't crash out. Don't crash out. But anyway, as I was stating previously, I'll send it for a third time, right? As we can see here, intuitionistic logic, this is what I've been stating for the third or fourth time. If you just read, it clearly says these are logics that have the law of contradiction, right? Meaning there's no contradiction entailed in the system because they have the law of non-contradiction. These aren't pair consistent logics. But I think we can move on from this point because this is a sort of side point.
Can you tell me what the distinction between the law of excluded middle and the law of non-contradiction is?
Yeah, so the law of contradiction is going to be that P and its negation. Yeah, so it's going to be that P and its negation cannot be true at the same time. And the law of excluded middle, as classically understood, is going to entail A or not A, right? In which case there's also going to be a classical law of double negation where there's not A, therefore A. Now, the intuitionistic logic people are going to deny not A entailing A. But I think I've demonstrated this point easily with all the things I've said. We can move back onto the main point, which is whether or not God exists.
The account that you just gave for the law of excluded middle, you said that either you're going to have A or not A.
I said that's the classical law of double negation.
Okay, so what is the law of excluded middle?
Yeah, I told you the law of excluded middle, A or not A.
A or not A is the law of excluded middle? Well, were you like touched as a kid? A or not A is the law of excluded middle? That's the law of excluded middle? That's the law of excluded middle.
Yeah, what's the law of excluded middle?
A.
Wait, I didn't say A and not A.
You said A, yeah, you said A and not A.
No. See, this is where it's all going downhill for you because this is all recorded. So you're clearly just tweaking out right now.
You said A and not A.
This is where it goes downhill. This is where we realize that you're just tweaking out and not actually understanding what's going on.
Okay, so what did you say?
Yeah, as you can look at the side chat right now and scroll up and see what everyone's saying.
What did everyone say?
Yeah, this guy just said it. A or not A, that's what I said. He said A or not A. Even the Muslims on your team are saying that.
Okay.
So as we can see clearly, you're all over the place and you don't even understand what's being said.
I misheard you. So the law of non-contradiction is P and not P. The law of excluded middle is P or not P. And there's no middle ground, right? So how can you give an account for the law of excluded middle not existing?
Yeah, as I said, intuitionistic logics. I mean, I don't expect you to be too familiar with what they are because you don't understand what they were until like this debate. But anyway, we can get back to the main point about whether or not God exists. This was a more side tangential point.
Because you still haven't. I've been waiting this whole time for you to give me an account of the law of excluded middle not existing.
Yeah, I just gave it to you in the side chat.
Okay, reply in the side chat so I can see your account. Okay, so
as you can see, this is from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. They say they deny the law of excluded middle in the sense of double negation, but they have the law of non-contradiction. I mean, I'll send you another screenshot that explicitly says that.
So the law of excluded middle is A or not A. Now, what is DNE? Double negation, elimination, and it's
they're denying not A and telling not A. I mean,
so not A doesn't entail A.
Under intuitionistic logic, yeah.
Okay, so can you give me an example of not A, not entailing A?
Well, I just told you, under intuitionistic logic.
So you can't give me any example of not.
Well,
not
any
A.
example of not, I don't think you understand. Under intuitionistic logic, any not A is going to not entail A.
Any not A is going to not entail A?
Yeah, that's what they're denying. I mean, how many times do I have to repeat this to you?
Is going to not entail A.
Under intuitionistic logics, yeah, that's how that works.
Okay, so can you give me an example of not
any
A,
example
not
works.
entailing A? Okay, give me one example then, if any example works.
Yeah, so for example, under intuitionistic logic, either you exist or you don't exist, right? Let's just say that. Now, you not existing wouldn't entail its negation.
What? So me not existing doesn't mean I exist.
Under intuitionistic logic, no.
So what does it mean if I not exist?
Dude, see, this is what I mean, right? You're asking me what intuitionistic logic is.
No,
and
you're
like,
saying
getting upset when I have to go into and give you a lecture about what this is, right?
Wait, you're saying not existing does not mean existing. So what does not existing mean if it's not existing?
Yeah, like I said, under intuitionistic logics, they take a different approach.
Okay,
And
can
they
you
deny
give
this.
me the approach?
But I wanna get something. I wanna stick my point in here. Can you read what I just said in the side chat?
But can you give me an account of not
Yeah, you realize what it. Okay,
non-telling A?
what is? I'll just try to ask you this to see if you're tracking. What
But
is
you're just
intuitionistic logic?
you've just man, can you give
No,
me
no, no.
an
I
example
didn't run. I just
of
want to see because
not
this is the problem, right?
not
For me to give
A?
you this account, of intuitionistic logic, it depends on how deep we're gonna go, right? Am I gonna have to pull out the whiteboard? Am I gonna have to screen share exactly how this works? Am I gonna have to give you a full-on lecture about how
All you
this works
have
in the
to do
system?
is give me
Now,
whatever
I'm
you
asking
would draw.
you,
Look,
can you just
strongest
repeat to me
debater,
what
strongest
intuitionistic
debater,
logic
strongest
is?
debater, strongest debater. Whatever you would have wrote on the whiteboard, just say it out loud. If you have an example of double negation A, not A. So if I say my shirt is not red, you're saying it doesn't entail that my shirt is red. So if I say I don't not exist, that doesn't mean I exist. So what does it mean if it doesn't mean that I exist?
Yeah, it seems like we're gonna have to go, like further back. So I'm just gonna send something
Like
in the
this is
side
what I'm
chat. I'm
saying.
gonna send something in the
Hassan,
side
do you
chat.
not see this? Like I've
Yo,
been asking for one example.
Yo,
Yo,
strongest
listen,
debater.
listen.
Strongest debater. Strongest debater.
Please.
Quit sending stuff in the side chat. If you want to use
Oh,
something as a source,
bro,
like
you're
Quit
explain.
sending sources in the side chat. Are we being
and
trolled?
I keep
Yeah,
asking
sure,
you
sure,
the
sure.
same
Listen. You
questions.
can send stuff in the side chat, but explain like what you are sending and explain why
Yeah.
that
So
is.
everything I've sent up until the YouTube video, I've read out loud, and I just want to get something
It doesn't matter
very
if you read
clear
it out
here
loud.
to
All I've
understand,
asked
because
you,
Saint Stephen, all
no,
Saint Stephen
strongest
has been
debater.
doing is
All I've asked
misunderstanding what
you,
I'm saying and misunderstanding what's
I'm
going
not
on.
misunderstanding
Right?
anything. You said that like the law of excluded middle is a possible existence, right? And you can have
Under the
some
account you gave, yeah.
under the account I gave. Okay, under the account I gave. And then you're saying that double negation A doesn't entail A. So you're saying that
Under
not
intuitionistic logic.
okay. So can you give me one example of not existing and not entailing?
I already gave you it. Anything. Listen,
You didn't.
you're not understanding what intuitionistic logic is. You're
What,
asking, can I
bro?
give you an
Oh
example of
my
intuitionistic
god.
logic? Under the formal system, any not A is just not going to entail A. Now
Okay,
listen,
so give me one
I've
example.
sent this and I've sent this in Reddit. I've sent this in Reddit multiple
Of
times.
course you've
I just
sent
want
it
you
in
to read
Reddit.
it.
Of course you
I
have.
want you to read it.
All
I want you to read it yourself out
No,
loud,
I'm not
just for
reading
everyone.
whatever you sent myself. All I'm asking for, because you're saying any example. So I want one example of not
Yeah,
A.
not A,
Not-
where you place A with anything.
Okay, so let's replace it with existing. Okay, not
Yeah, I
existing.
did that earlier.
Okay, not existing. And you're saying not existing. It doesn't entail existing.
Under
So you're saying
intuitionistic logic.
you can not exist, and you don't have to exist. So you can
Under
not exist
intuitionistic
and
logic.
Okay. So can you explain to me how that works? How you can not exist and you can
Yeah, it's under the formal system. They deny. How many times am I gonna have to repeat this to you?
under the
They
form. You keep
deny.
telling me what they
Yeah,
deny.
I'm not finished. So
But
anyway,
you just keep
they
telling me.
deny. Now, see, this is the problem. Now we're going to get into why intuitionistic logic proponents deny it and how they exactly do it. In which
Yes,
case, I'm gonna have to
give
pull
me
out.
one
In which
example.
case, I'm not finished. In which case, I'm gonna have to pull out the whiteboard and give you an entire lecture on formal systems in
No,
general
all you
and
have,
the
you have to
history of
explain.
intuitionistic
You
logic.
don't have to explain anything about the history of intuitionistic logic. All you have to do is give me one.
I've already given you the example. Are you trolling?
No, you haven't. If I say
Just repeating how it works under
yeah, because
intuitionistic logic doesn't do
you're
anything.
not saying anything. If I say I don't exist and I don't not exist, so what is there? If I don't exist and I don't not exist, what's left?
Yeah, under
You're saying
intuitionistic logic, that's not going to tell you exist.
okay, so I'm asking you what other option
But
is there?
listen, this is a side. But
No,
listen,
this is not.
I want to get back. I want to get back. Yo,
All
listen.
you had to do for 30 minutes is name one
I already gave you
possibility.
the example,
You
and I've
haven't
sent
named me
multiple
one
sources.
possibility.
See, this is the problem with you
No,
ignoramuses, right?
all
I've sent
bro,
multiple examples and multiple sources that
you have
explicitly
not sent
state
no multiple
exactly what's going
examples.
on.
All you have to do is tell
Wait,
me.
wait. Did you just say good examples?
What? No.
Okay, so I'll just ask you this.
No.
For double negation not to hold, what would that look like under your paradigm?
All I've asked you again, and I'm gonna ask you again, and I'm gonna keep answering you. I'm gonna keep asking you until you answer. All I've asked you, if I say I don't exist, okay, this is a proposition. I do not exist, okay? And then I have another proposition that says I do not exist. What other possibility is there if both of these hold true?
Wait, they're
If
just going
I
to say
don't
there's no
exist-
entailing relation there.
If I don't exist holds true, and I don't not exist
Yo,
holds
they're just
true.
going to say for the 50th time there's no entailing relation there.
Okay, so what could there be besides
There's no.
do not?
How many times am I going to have to repeat this? There's no
There's no
entailing
entailing
relation.
relation. Okay, so no entailing relation means that I do not exist doesn't entail I do not.
Yeah, under
does not entail I
intuitionistic
do
logic,
exist.
like I've said, like in multiple sources, yeah.
Okay, so can you give me an example of how
You just
one,
gave the example, retard.
one
I
double
mean, how many times
negation-
are we going to do this trick and
Oh.
pony game?
No, because you haven't. All I've asked you, if I give an example of a double negation and the example of no negation. So I do not exist.
Yo,
and
listen,
I exist.
listen.
No. 1 second. Give me an account for how this doesn't entail the other. How I do not exist.
Yeah, they
doesn't mean
reject.
I
They
exist.
reject double
I don't
negation.
care what they reject. I'm asking you, what does it mean? Like,
What does
how
it mean
can
to
you
reject double negation?
No. How can you explain not existing as not meaning existing?
Okay, like I told
Okay,
you,
did
like
you
I told you
understand?
for the 5th and 6th
Did you
time,
understand?
there's no entailing relation there. But I'm
Okay,
gonna
you
speak.
just
I'm
keep
gonna
telling
speak.
me there's no entailing relation.
Yo.
You
Just
keep
mute
saying
this
the
guy
same
at this.
thing.
Yo, just mute this guy at this
You
point.
keep
But
saying
anyway,
there's no entailing. Ahsan, do you understand what I'm saying?
this
He
guy,
keeps
this guy's
saying-
asked the same question on repeat for
look,
like
look,
20
okay,
minutes.
Let
He
me
just
ask
doesn't
Ahsan.
grasp
Let me
it.
ask Ahsan, and maybe Ahsan can ask. Ahsan, listen.
To be
Ahsan,
honest, I don't. To be honest, I don't
No, but
understand
Ahsan, listen,
shit
listen,
of any
please,
side.
please.
But what I'm
Ahsan,
trying to say,
Ahsan, stop. Ahsan,
Habibi, I don't understand anything from either side. I
Listen,
don't know
okay, I'll tell
these
you.
words.
I'll tell you the problem. What
Yo,
I've used-
Isan, you're a moderator. Don't let this guy interrupt you.
Okay,
No.
Ahsan. No, but Ahsan,
What the
please,
hell?
Ahsan, please.
Let's do
Let's-
time. Let's do time.
No,
Let's do
there's
time.
just
Yeah,
time
time it
ahead.
up. Time it up,
Answer
or you
this
can
one
concede.
question.
minutes each,
Answer this one question and we'll do time. Answer this one question and we'll do time.
Oh, there's no point.
Run that shit
No,
up.
there is a point.
All right.
I did not sit here for 30 minutes just for this guy not to
Dang,
answer
you
the
sat here
question.
for 30 minutes getting clapped, boy.
Ihsan.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, let's go,
Okay, you're listening? Okay. So
Yes.
if I say I don't not exist, okay? I don't not exist.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, what does that mean?
Does that mean I exist?
Why are you asking the moderator as if he has
I don't
any
think
idea
so.
about
Please don't
intuitionistic logic?
Just
I
please
don't think
talk.
so. Probably not. No.
Okay, so now
No, that's irrelevant. This is your guys'
Perfect. This is
discussion.
not irrelevant. This
Why
is
is
not
this guy
irrelevant.
trying to get the moderator
No,
to
listen,
be
it's
on
your
his
guys'
side, bro?
discussion.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
have
trying to get anyone to
anything
be
to
on my side. I'm asking you.
You're asking this
moderator.
guy if he agrees with you. Just shut up.
No, man, just
Dude,
stop
let's
talking.
do time. Let's
Ihsan,
do time.
Ihsan.
Yeah,
We
time
can
this
do
shit up, bro.
We can do time right after this. Ihsan, I asked him, okay, if I do not exist doesn't mean I exist, then what else could it mean? Okay, can you ask him that question so he can answer it? Maybe if you ask him, he'll answer it. Because when I ask him, he's not answering.
Yeah, this
Okay,
guy's
how
retarded.
about-
I've
okay,
answered it several
How about
times.
you give him
You
that?
see someone in
that
the chat
question,
saying you
and then
negated
we
the
do time.
negation, so you do exist.
Let's do-
Perfect.
Dude,
Let's
wait,
do-
wait, wait.
That's what
Say,
I've been
Steven, this
saying.
is the problem. This is the problem with your sort of people. These type of arrogant people that just don't understand anything. In this debate, I'll just clarify something. Like 20, 30 minutes ago, you didn't even know what intuitionistic logic was, and now you're sitting here acting as if you have the secret sauce to debunk intuitionistic logic because secretly there's a contradiction entailed by denying the LEM, right? You just don't have that secret sauce. You just don't have. You don't have the Krabby Patty secret formula. But listen, right?
There is a
As I was stating previously,
Ahsan, you see how this guy just ran from my
yo,
question?
stop
Khalas,
speaking.
khalas. Don't involve me.
No,
Let's do time.
khalas, no, you see how this guy's running from my question? Time won't fix anything. We can do time right after this. I just want to know.
So listen,
I
no
just wanna
one's
know.
running. No one's
No,
running. Listen.
Okay, you're not running, so stay still and listen. I do not exist. What could it entail besides existing?
Yeah, see, this is the problem. You're on
Give
recording.
me one
Just
entailment.
everything,
What does it entail
everything.
besides existing?
Yo. You asked a question. You don't want the secret sauce because
Okay,
I have
give
the
me the
secret
answer.
sauce. You
Give
don't
me
have
the
it.
answer. I'm
Listen,
listening. Give me
right?
the answer.
Yeah, I have the secret formula for you right here.
Okay, go ahead.
As I stated earlier, there is no entailing relation.
So,
Wow. So when you ask, when you
okay,
continuously ask, what does that entail? There's no entailing relation.
So the negation. So saying I do not exist. If I say this entails existing, you say no, and I tell you the
Under
reason why-
intuitionistic logic.
Okay, the reason why it entails existing is because if you say I do not exist, you're negating your existence. Then if you say I do not exist, you're negating the negation of your existence, which is a double negative, which is just going to be the
Yeah, I know
affirmation
all
of your
this
existence.
stuff, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be an affirmation of your existence.
Yeah, if
okay?
you affirm double negation, yeah, I think it's just like a problem of like being able to conceptualize. You can't conceptualize how another system would not have double negation. But anyway, listen, right? Listen, I wanna explain real quick
not
to the
being able to
audience and to the
conceptualize.
recording
You're
exactly
just
what's going
not
on
like,
here, right? So this debate was originally, listen, right? So anyway, this debate was originally about whether or not God existed, and he gave the Kalam. And I asked him about what the first premise of the Kalam entails. What does it mean for something to begin to exist? And he said time is eternal in response to this. And then we went into exactly what the universe is, because I take the universe to just be space, time, and all of its contents. So if time is eternal, then that means at least some
and that's a
component
paradigm
of the
shift, because
universe is eternal.
I said
Yo,
time is eternal.
I'm giving a summary of everything that's happened,
Okay,
bro.
but make sure
But
you
anyway,
include this.
stop interrupting. So listen, right?
Under my view, there's no eternal universe, because I said time is eternal. I wasn't the one who said that the universe is a constituent of space-time. You're the one saying that. You don't hold that time is eternal, okay? You don't hold that time is eternal, so you can say it's a constituent of space-time, whatever. That's not what I hold to. So don't try and say that the universe is eternal under my view, okay?
Yeah, I'm saying the universe as I define it is going to be eternal under your view. But anyway,
yeah,
listen, right?
But that's
and
not
then
how
we
I
went
define
into,
it,
and then we went into exactly, so then we went into exactly what it means for the universe to begin to exist if the universe doesn't incorporate space-time in its contents. And then he said that the universe is just the set of all contingent members, right? I mean,
yes.
however you want to take that. And then we went into exactly what it means for something to be contingent. And he said possible world semantics. He started to invoke this. So I asked him for his possible world account. He didn't know what that was. I asked him for his impossible world account was. He gave me some type of contradiction realizer. And I actually had to educate him on the fact that a contradiction realizer is not going to entail intuitionistic logic worlds not holding, right? But this all relates back to whether or not God exists, in which case the first premise of the Kalam has yet to be proven. The second premise of the Kalam has yet to be proven. So therefore, the conclusion of the Kalam that he's trying to give us has yet to be proven.
Okay, now perfect. Now my account is this. This guy asked me, what does it mean for something to be a contingent or a possible existence? I was saying it's a contingent existence if there's no contradiction in negating its existence. Okay, so for example, strongest debater is fat. Okay, let's have that as a proposition. An example. Okay, I'm not saying he is. It's an example. There's a world where he's not fat. Okay, so there's no necessity of him being fat. He's contingently fat. Okay, he doesn't have to be fat. He could lose weight and then he wouldn't be fat anymore. So this is something which is contingent. Okay, something which is necessary, it can never fail. It has to be the case. So there's no ever possible world where this thing cannot exist. But there's a possible world where strongest debater is not born fat, okay? So that's the difference. And then he said, what is an impossible world? And I'm like, an impossible world would be a world where there's a real contradiction, because obviously contradictions can't exist in reality. He said, do you take the law of excluded middle to be logically necessary? I said, yes. Then he was trying to prove that the law of excluded middle is not logically necessary. And I'm like, okay, go ahead, prove it. And this guy, for 30 minutes, has been repeating the same thing over and over and over. And it's like it's like everything I say is just one ear out the other. He's saying that a double negation, meaning if we have, so a negation would be something like, I do not exist, okay? I do not exist. That's a proposition. What does it mean? It means I do not exist. Now, I do not exist, okay? So you have the proposition, I do not exist, and then you put a negation in front of it. I do not exist. You probably did this in grade 3 when you tell people, I am not 7. Probably something like that. I am not 6 feet, right? If you're not this, that means you are this. Double negation is an affirmation. And he was trying to say, yes, not, it's like saying strongest debater is not fat. What would it mean? In hypothetical, it means that he is fat, okay? So he's trying to say that not fat doesn't mean fat. And I'm like, how doesn't, like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, how can you account for it not meaning fat? And then he's just like, well, under the intuitionistic view, and then he just keeps saying the same thing over and over, and he doesn't answer the question. I'm like, so what, how is it possible for double negation not to equal an affirmation? And he's just saying, oh, well, that's the case.
All right, are you done? You're just repeating yourself.
So yeah, I'm done.
So let's
All
now
I'm-
because
all
now
I've
you're
been
about to
asking-
now
all I've been
that
asking-
we're back
all I've been
on track
asking-
and I've
all I've been asking for 30
given the
minutes.
full
Wait, all I've
understanding
been
of
asking.
the
One second,
dialogue tree.
one
Now
second,
you're
one
about to
second.
get now you're
One
just about to get
second,
cooked.
one second,
So
one
we
second, one
agree.
second.
Yo,
One
wait.
second.
We're getting
Are you
back on
like,
track instead of you
what?
just not understanding
Can I finish
intuitionistic
speaking?
logic.
Can I finish
So
speaking?
anyway,
Can I finish speaking?
yo, so anyway, as
Can
I
I
was stating
finish
previously,
Can I finish speaking?
I'll just cook
Can
you
I
with
finish
this
speaking?
one. Yo,
Can I
yo.
finish speaking?
I don't think
Calm
Saint
down,
Stephen was
guys.
done.
Calm down.
I don't think. Shut the fuck up. I don't think Saint Stephen's was finished.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
Wait.
finished
How
either.
long does
but
he have? I mean, is this
this
just
guy
infinite?
is
Is this
not.
I
infinite
don't know,
monologue?
bro. I don't know.
Is this ultimate skill, bro? He
You
just
guys,
infinitely monologue.
you guys didn't agree to a time the debate.
All
So
right, yeah. You're right. I'll just let him do the infinite monologue session.
Stevens,
Infinite
yeah,
monologue just
okay,
for, you know.
Stevens. You have like a minute and a half, okay?
No, I don't need a minute and a half. Go ahead and just tell me how you can account for a double negation. If I say you're not retarded, how does that not mean that you're retarded? Go ahead. Explain
Okay,
to
so
me.
Now
anyway-
let him talk. Now let him talk.
Let me talk, right? So, as I stated previously, for me to explain this to you more than I've already done by sending multiple Stanford Encyclopedia entries, explaining to you how Impossible World and the account you gave works, explaining how intuitionistic logic works, I think I've done a satisfactory job. You're just not understanding. But now it's cooking time, right? Because remember, this debate all relates back to God, and we've just recognized, right? We've just recognized that under your account, for something to be necessary, it means that there has to be a contradiction in negating it, right? So now I'll just ask you this one simple question. What is the contradiction entailed in a world where your God doesn't exist?
Okay, are you done?
Yeah, give the P and not P.
Yeah, so the contradiction entailed is that obviously I would make the case for God being a necessary existence.
Yeah, that's just repeating the claim.
That's not repeating the claim because you asked what's the
Yeah, I'm asking you
Yeah, but we
for the
haven't
contradiction
even
entailed, and you're saying that he's necessary.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said that I would have to make the case that he's a necessary existence, and if I
Yeah,
make
necessary means existing in all possible worlds. And according to your account of
Yes.
possible worlds, for something to be necessary, it means it has to exist in all possible worlds,
Yes.
meaning that there's a negation there's a contradiction entailed in its negation. So give me the contradiction in a world where your God doesn't exist.
Okay, the contradiction entailed in a world where my God doesn't exist is that there would be no necessary existence, meaning you would have a collapse, an infinite regress of causal events, which would just not be possible. So you would have to have a necessary existence. You would have to have a
Yeah, so I'll just repeat back exactly what you said without the fluff. What you just said is the contradiction in a world where my God doesn't exist is there is no God.
no.
You said there's no necessary being. In a world without your God, there's no necessary being.
You're just not tracking. Obviously, first of all, that is true. A world where God does not exist.
Okay, that's not a contradiction.
But that's not all I said. What I said is that God is the first cause. So
Okay, so wait. Let's focus. Let's get there. Let's say that there's a world where there is no causes, there is no events, there's nothing there. What's the contradiction in such a world existing without your God?
In such a world existing without my God, because I would
give the contradiction.
Because I still would have to make the case. I still would have to make the case that my God is necessary.
Just give the P and not P in such a world.
Yeah, because if I can make the case that my God is necessary, okay, if you grant that my God
in order to make this case, you have to demonstrate a contradiction in such a world. So give us the contradiction.
Oh my God. No, in order to make this case, I don't have to yet demonstrate a contradiction because
wait. That's on recording too. You realize you said earlier, in order to show something is necessary, you have to show that negating it leads into a contradiction.
Yeah.
Meaning you actually do have to give us the contradiction. So give it to us.
Yes, I do have to give you the contradiction.
Okay, so give us the contradiction.
Listen, what I'm saying is you don't even believe that God exists, that God is the first cause.
We're talking about a necessary being right now.
I have to make the case. Oh, yes, a necessary being.
Okay, so give us the contradiction.
So listen, first of all, if you're saying a necessary being, the contradiction is obviously going to be non-existent.
Yeah, give us the contradiction in a world where there is no beings. Give us the contradiction.
Because if you suppose that the world is that the being is necessary, it can never fail to exist. That's what necessary existence means.
Wait, no. That's just repeating the claim that's necessary. Give the contradiction.
You said what's the contradiction in a necessary existence not existing? And I'm telling you
I'm asking for the contradiction. Yeah. I'll rephrase it. I'll rephrase it precisely. What is the contradiction in a possible world where there is no events?
Where there is no events? There's no contradiction if there is no events.
Okay, so there's no contradiction in a world without events occurring, meaning this contingency argument stuff is not going to work. So now what's the contradiction in a world? So now, okay, yeah, we just got that there's no contradiction in a world where there's no contingent events at all.
Okay, there's no contradiction in a world where there's no contingent events. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so let's get to this, right? Is your God a concrete object?
Is my God a concrete object?
Yeah.
Concrete object?
Is your God a concrete object or an abstract object?
My God is going to be a concrete existence.
Okay, so now give us the contradiction in a world where there is no concrete objects.
See, and now we're just going back into the same thing.
No, this is you said your necessary being is a concrete object. Now you have to give us the contradiction in there being a world without any concrete objects.
Yeah, because if you're granting that he's a necessary being, the contradiction is always.
No, I'm not granting that. That's what's in dispute right now. That's what we're debating.
And that's what we have to talk about. We have to talk about why he's a necessary being.
So you have to demonstrate the contradiction.
No, I have to demonstrate, but I have to demonstrate why.
Okay, so give us the contradiction entailed by a world with no concrete objects.
You don't believe that there's a necessary being. So obviously it's not going to be a
okay, yeah, so give us the contradiction. Well, necessary being in the sense that you just proposed, which is a concrete being. What's the contradiction entailed by a necessary just answer. What's the contradiction entailed in a world where there is no concrete beings?
But like this is what you're just not getting. You're not accepting the fact that
I'm waiting for you to prove it.
Yeah, listen. You're not accepting that there is a necessary existence, okay? So if you're not accepting that there's
that's what's in debate.
Yeah, so I have to prove that there's a necessary existence.
And to prove it, as you said earlier, you'd have to give the contradiction in such a world. So what's the contradiction?
Yeah, first I have to prove that this being exists.
No. In order to prove a necessary, see, you're dancing.
Yeah.
In order to prove a necessary being exists, you have to prove that there's a contradiction in such a world.
Because him being
okay. So what's the contradiction?
For me proving that he exists. You're just like you think you're making a point, and you're just like.
Yeah, the point is that you're not giving the contradiction entailed in such a world.
Yeah, because look. Okay, are you listening? You don't hold that this being exists.
Yeah, because you haven't given the contradiction yet.
Okay. My contradiction is that if this being doesn't exist, then you would say that there's a non-existent necessary being. He could not be necessary if he's non-existent. So we're just
not a contradiction.
How is a necessary non-existent being not a contradiction?
You remember, you said your God is a necessary concrete being. I'm asking you for the contradiction in a world where there's no concrete beings at all.
And I'm telling you that if my God...
Okay, wait, just fill out the form. Just fill out the form.
Because it's not just about concrete beings. It's about the God being.
No, your God is a concrete being. So yes, it is.
Okay. Even if my God was abstract, whatever.
Wait, are you now changing? Are you changing?
No, I said if.
Okay, so then focus on what your God actually is, right?
Okay.
Give us the contradiction entailed in a world that exists with no concrete objects.
Okay. Listen, it's not just about no concrete object. It's the fact that this concrete object would exist via necessity. And
so give us the contradiction in such a world.
But I can't show that. This.
Okay, you can't show the contradiction.
No. What? I can't show that this being is necessary if you're not even progressing to the point where I prove this being. How do you want me to
in order to prove the being? So I'll explain why. I'll explain why you're just doing these theatrics again.
How do you want me to characterize a being that you don't even believe exists?
So as I said previously, right? You're doing this thing as if we have to go to a separate argument instead of this. As you stated earlier, for something to be necessary, it means that there has to be a contradiction entailed by denying it. Right? And as I stated, wait, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. But anyway, as I stated previously, you said your necessary being is a concrete being, meaning that there needs to be some contradiction entailed by there being no concrete beings. So give us the contradiction.
And again, you're saying my necessary being. In order for you to say that something is necessary, that thing has to exist.
Yeah, so give us the contradiction.
To make me prove that there is just some necessity without even proving that the being exists. What is this?
In order to prove that there is a necessity. Wait. You're not. This is on recording as well, by the way. I want you to realize. So if this ever gets uploaded to YouTube in the future, if you learn more, you will understand how dumb this sounds. As you stated earlier, in order to prove something is necessary, there has to be a contradiction entailed by denying it. So the only way you prove your being right now is by giving the contradiction. So give it.
Okay. But in order to do that, I have to prove that there's a being in the first place.
No, you have to prove that there's a necessary concrete being. What do you mean, give us the contradiction.
I have to prove that there's a being. I have to prove that there is a being.
No. A necessary being, as you defined, is a concrete,
Yes,
necessarily existing
you're
being.
not accepting that there's a being.
In order to prove that, you have to give
how
us
am I
the
supposed to
contradiction.
characterize a being that doesn't exist in your paradigm?
Wait. As you stated earlier, all you need to do is give the contradiction. So go ahead and give it.
Yeah, and as I've stated, how am I going to prove that this being is necessary if you're not even holding that this being exists? I have to prove.
Yeah, I'm not holding that this being exists because you haven't given us the contradiction yet.
Yeah, because I have to demonstrate this existence.
Wait, in order to demonstrate it, you'd have to give us the contradiction.
And in order to show something.
Okay,
is
so give us the
necessary.
contradiction.
In order to show something is necessary, that thing must already be
Give
present.
us the contradiction.
Yeah, so I have to demonstrate that this thing is present. I can't characterize.
In order to demonstrate your definition, I'll just clarify again. According to your definition, according to your definition, the being, according to your definition, the being in question is a necessarily existing concrete entity, meaning that there needs to be a contradiction entailed by denying concrete entities at all. So, meaning in order to prove this being exists, you have to give us the contradiction. So, where is it?
And in order to prove that this being exists, I have to demonstrate his existence.
Yes, by demonstrating a contradiction entailed by negating its existence.
That would demonstrate that he's a necessary existence. How am I supposed to
you're
prove
arguing for a necessary being.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to
Okay,
prove
so
that
you can't prove the necessary being without giving the contradiction.
Listen for a second. How am I supposed to prove that this being exists necessarily if you're not even letting me prove that this being exists?
Because wait, I'll explain why. Because according to you, the being, according to you, the being in question is a necessary being.
Okay, but how am I supposed to put something in the mortal category of necessity if you don't even hold to this thing existing?
I don't need to affirm or deny it for you to demonstrate the contradiction. So give us the contradiction.
Yes, you do. How am I supposed to show?
Wait. I need to affirm something for you to demonstrate a contradiction?
No, how am I supposed to?
Okay, then give us the contradiction.
Look, how am I supposed to affirm that this being is necessary if I haven't
giving us the
even been able to
contradiction.
demonstrate that? Okay, for example, if I'm talking about myself, I exist. Okay, I can demonstrate that I don't have to exist. With this being, I haven't even been able to demonstrate that he exists.
In order to demonstrate that the being in question exists, you have to demonstrate the contradiction.
On one hand, you're saying, what's the contradiction in the being necessary? And I'm saying, if he's necessary, he would never fail to exist. And then you're saying,
okay, give us the contradiction.
What's the contradiction? I'm telling you, if we suppose that he's a necessary being, he can never fail to exist. Now,
if we suppose that, in order to suppose that, you'd have to give us the contradiction entailed by negating its existence. So give us the contradiction.
Would just be by grouping him in a category of necessity.
The contradiction by negating your concrete entity is that if we just say he's necessary, there's a contradiction?
If we say he's necessary.
Okay, so then you're just question begging.
So then,
because that's exactly what's in question. Wait, did you just admit to question begging?
So then what follows? We have to show that he's necessary. Right? We have to
you just admitted to question begging.
Right?
You just admitted that your entire argument just boils down to a question.
You're just not listening at all.
Okay, so give us the contradiction.
Listen, guys.
Okay.
So I think we have to end this. So 5 minutes, right? You're gonna get to a conclusion.
Let's do closing statements. I mean,
listen. If you want to reschedule this debate, and
there's no reason.
I mean, there's no need to reschedule. He's on recording admitting he questioned begged. He's on recording admitting there's no contradiction.
Listen, if you want, you can start the timer. Right, you're gonna have 5 minutes each.
5 minutes, right?
Yeah, 5 minutes each works. He can go first.
Hold on. Let me fix the timer.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
5 minutes each, guys.
Look, this guy is asking me to prove that this being exists necessarily. In order, saying prove that this being exists necessarily is supposing that this being exists. He hasn't even given me an opportunity to demonstrate that this being exists. Yet he wants me to prove what modal category he falls under. Okay, how does that make any sense? If I can't even demonstrate that he exists, how am I supposed to show that he exists necessarily? Doesn't make any sense. What am I going to be characterizing with necessity if I haven't even been able to prove this being? And then he keeps saying, in order for something to be necessary, there has to be a contradiction in its existence. And I'm like, okay, if we suppose that there's a necessary being, it's obviously going to be a contradiction. Then he says, okay, well, you're supposing that there's a necessary being. Yes, I am supposing that there's a necessary being. If you want me to demonstrate why this being exists and why he would be necessary, then I could. He's only saying I have to demonstrate how he's necessary by virtue of there not being a contradiction. I agree. I have to show a contradiction in order for a contradiction in his existence in order for him to be necessary. Perfect. But I can't show that he's necessary if you're not even giving me a chance to show that he exists. I have to first establish his existence, and then I can go under what modal status he belongs to. Whether he's necessary, whether he's contingent, we can argue that. But we have to talk about whether this being in question exists. You don't hold to him existing. I hold to him existing, okay? And if I prove that he exists, I could then demonstrate further why he exists out of necessity. But you're not letting me prove that he exists. So this argument has just gone in circles because this guy keeps saying the same thing. Prove there's a contradiction in its negation. Okay, well, if for there to be a contradiction in its negation, we have to suppose in it. He's not supposing the it, but he's giving me the proposition, prove it exists necessarily. How am I supposed to prove it exists necessarily if there's no it? What am I characterizing with necessity? So it makes no sense. I can finish my closing statement now. Before I finish, actually, I just want to note that for 30 minutes, this guy was saying the law of excluded middle is a logical possible existence. He's saying that the law of excluded middle is not a necessary existence. So, and he's been saying that a double negation does not entail an affirmation. Okay? So saying something does not exist doesn't entail that it exists. And I've been asking him, okay, if I have the proposition I do not exist, and then I say I do not exist, that is an affirmation. A double negation is always going to be an affirmation. He's just been saying, no, it's not. So I'm like, okay, how can you say no, it's not? He's just saying, that's it. No, it's not. I guess it's just brute fact. No, it's not. Double negation doesn't mean affirmation according to this guy. And I've been asking him how. And he's just like, nope, don't delve into the kayfiyya. Like, it doesn't make any sense. For 30 minutes, I've been asking this guy, show that the law of excluded middle exists merely out of possibility. It doesn't exist necessarily. And then he's been saying double negation doesn't mean affirmation. I'm like, okay, double negation most definitely means affirmation. He's just saying no. So I'm like, what do you mean no? There's no. Like this for 30 minutes, I've asked this guy to substantiate. I've asked this guy give one example, and he's just like his brain just shuts off. For 30 minutes, I've asked this guy one example, and he's just going in circles. So that's the debate. The debate is this guy's asking me to prove a being is necessary without even supposing that there's a being. I haven't even been able to prove that there's a being, and he wants me to prove it's necessary. Okay, and then when it comes to the law of excluded middle, he doesn't give a middle ground. He doesn't believe that double negation means affirmation, and he hasn't even been able to substantiate. So that's everything.
All right, I just want to give my rhetoric.
Hold on. Let me fix the. Okay, you can start now.
Yeah, I just want to get my rhetoric in here. I mean, even when the polls say other dude, I'm still winning. This is ridiculous. But anyway, as I was stating previously, as we heard at his final statement there, he said, I didn't get to prove there was a being, let alone a necessary being. So as we can see here, this guy admits, according throughout this whole debate, he hasn't been able to prove a God exists, let alone a necessary God, right? Now, I'll explain this, right, really easily, really simply put. This guy keeps saying we need to demonstrate that there is first a being in order to get to the contradiction of said being. Now I'll just demonstrate how this is not even the case, right? We can have a concept of married, and then we can have a concept of bachelor. Now we don't have to suppose that there are any bachelors or that there are any married persons in order to get the contradiction that arises from saying someone is both married and a bachelor, right? So clearly we don't even need to suppose such a being exists because we can demonstrate that there are no married bachelors without assuming that there are any married persons or bachelors in existence, right? Because before there were any married persons on earth or before there were any bachelors on earth, there was still no such thing as a married bachelor. But anyway, as I was stating previously, I just want to get my rhetoric points in here real quick. Even when I'm classified as other dude, I'm still winning. Even when my name is strongest debater, as he's said previously, I'm still winning. But I mean, I want to end it on this note very specifically. St. Stephen's admitted throughout this entire debate he did not prove God exists.
Are you done?
Yeah, when I said that I didn't get the chance.
Yeah, that was closing statements, bro. In the stage.
It's finished, guys.
Wait.
Yo, just delete the stage.
All this guy has been saying.
Yo,
it's
done. It's finished. It's done.
Yeah, but I didn't get an opportunity to.
Just delete the stage.
Yeah,
So we can't keep
there
speaking.
is no. Yeah, there is no thingy. Okay, guys.